How you going, guys? Raw Cow here. So today's video is just going to be about something I did on the weekend with a couple mates of mine. So we did a guys camping trip, boys weekend, whatever you want to call it. And it's not like how movies and stuff show it. We weren't drunk. We weren't, you know, doing weird shit in the forest or anything like that. What we did is we got together, and I'm talking about friends who I consider family. People that are really close to me, those that I know I can count on when I'm in trouble, those that I know I can rely on when I'm struggling, and vice versa. They know if there's an issue, they can give me a call and I'll be there for. So with these two guys, we went out camping, set up the camp out in the middle of nowhere. Where I live, there's a lot of bushland around us, and there's some great spots, amazing spots where there's, water right next to us, big trees, kangaroos, nature, everything. It was just a sublime experience. And what we did is we went out there, set up the big fire in the middle of the camp, all had our own swag set up, and just experience the bush. Our devices were put down apart from playing some music, and we took a few photos, and we really got to that almost primal situation. We sat there and discussed things. We talked about negatives in our lives, positives in our lives. We talked about negatives and positives in each other's lives. We discussed how we could improve our lives and each other's lives, and there was no negativity. There was no toxic masculinity bullshit where someone's like, I'm the alpha and everyone else needs to get in line and do what I tell them. Everyone knew what their jobs were with the campsite. Everyone knew how to act, and no one felt uncomfortable with how they acted. We took our shoes off because the area was, there was no glass, no prickles, nothing like that. And, we just had the mud, the sand, the dirt, the rocks, the twigs, all that kind of stuff underfoot. And it was just truly sublime and truly really spiritual. Like at one stage, I think it was about midnight or something, we went right where our campsite was because we're right on the riverbed. There was a spot just down from us that was really open, and we just went down there, laid on our backs, looked up at the stars. There was a little bit of cloud cover, but it was a full moon, so it was amazing. We looked up and we saw the stars, and we discussed things. We discussed what we feel, how we have experienced life, things that we've never really discussed with other guys or anyone, in fact. And it was amazing. There was no judgment. There was no ill will to one another. And it just made me feel so great. These guys are friends who I've had, not my whole life. These are guys that I've just really had friendships with in the last 3, 4, 5 years kind of thing. But it was amazing. There was just nothing but a chill vibe between us all. We played really good music. None of it was, headbanging. None of it was, screaming or anything like that. So it didn't really take away from the quietness of the forest and the bush around us. It kind of amplified those feelings, and it kind of amplified the sense of just happiness. It was great. So like I said, we discussed a lot of topics. We discussed a lot of things, there was suicide mentioned. There was self-harm, there was, toxic relationships, there was mental health issues, there was family issues, there was all these things raised between us three guys. And I'll say this, all three of us are very different. One of my friends is married with kids. One of them is a bit younger, single guy. I'm a worker, I'm a businessman. And all three of us have different backgrounds, different childhoods, all so unique, so different, and so varied. And I think that just added to the kind of warm feeling, like the comfort we all experienced. We did just cool stuff, walk through the woods barefoot and the bush barefoot. There were a few animals around, so there was some kangaroos and stuff like that. So we just walked and we checked out the bush around us. And this was like 2, 3 in the morning we were doing this. We looked at the stars, we barefoot in like sandbanks and stuff like that. It was great. So I strongly encourage any of my followers out there or anyone watching this video to do it, because it's something that you need. It was a decompression for us. We all have our stresses. We all have different situations in our life that cause us grief and have things that I was not aware of these guys were going through was brought up that night. And it just kind of made us all feel closer and more accepted by one another. And it was a great experience. So I strongly suggest you guys, if in the next month or so, depending on COVID rules, etc., find 2 to 3 very, very close friends. And when I say very close friends, I mean those that you know you can rely on. I mean those that you can have come with you in the worst situation you're in. Like if something horrible happened in your life, these would be the friends you'd have by your side. And vice versa, make sure that these are someone you'd be there for as well. Because I want you to all to open up to these people. I want you to feel so comfortable with this person, you are comfortable to tell them your deepest, darkest secrets, and comfortable enough to hear their deepest, darkest secrets and accept them. I put that challenge to you. So do that for me. And I'd love to hear in the comments below, just write what you've done, write what you've experienced, and write the things you went through, because that would be amazing. And I'd love to hear, and even the location, guys, I'd love to hear some of the spots you went. So thanks very much, guys. Take care of yourself. I'm proud of you, and I'll see you next time.